All right, here we are in the KEXP live room, a very special day here at KEXP, and I'm your host, Troy Nelson from listener-powered independent 90.3 FM KEXP here in Seattle and also 92.7 in San Francisco, and we're streaming 24/7 at KEXP.org and our free mobile apps, and these live performances are made possible by people like you, so thank you so much for supporting KEXP and keeping us listener-powered. And I am very, very excited to be in the KEXP live room with this band who have an awesome new album called Harm's Way, and I'm talking about Ducks Limited, and if you're all ready, let's take it away.
Where the first one told is the last to know, but it's something we've all gotta learn. Me and you gotta do it the hard way. It's always another dagger hidden in the sleeve, another bullet in the magazine. Or will you get yourself set up to roll back down the same long track, set up to explode like a train full of gasoline? By an emptiness, shed sense of dull dead-endedness. Our hands to find the knife to twist again. It's the way reward relates to risk, or maybe it's just restlessness. But whatever the beginning is, the ending feels the same. It's always another dagger hidden in the sleeve, another bullet in the magazine. A way to get yourself set up to roll back down the same long track, set up to explode like a train full of gasoline. It's always another dagger hidden in the sleeve, another bullet in the magazine. A way to get yourself set up to roll back down the same long track, set up to explode like a train full of gasoline.
You're listening to Ducks Limited, live on KEXP.
And receive, still in too deep, whatever. Take me for another ride, pretend to try. We'll get outside together, lights growing under dead leaves, and muddy streams, and trunks of trees. Hollowed out from the inside, oh, hollowed out from the inside, oh, of it getting harder and harder to explain. Hollowed out from the inside, oh, hollowed out from the inside, oh, of it getting harder and harder to through same old scene. Forever darker if the city seems. Collapse the street, a world unseen. Whatever, couple miles of concrete, then underneath is buried deep. A river, meet me where the asphalt leaks. The border breached, yeah, where the streets been hollowed out from the inside, oh, hollowed out from the inside, oh, of it getting harder and harder to explain. Hollowed out from the inside, oh, hollowed out from the inside, oh, of it getting harder and harder to explain. Why?
Hitting the heavy bag, passing out, drinking on a train. It's like this everywhere, all the time anyway. Everyone all around, down somehow, seeking an escape. They're writing all their songs about it now. I keep on listening to the boys are back in time. Keep on soaking in rail gin, talking way too loud. We'll do this every now and again. The pattern that we're in, wearing thin, and now you're getting out to seek a different sea for drowning in. I guess I'm sad 'cause I won't be the one dragging you down. Down. Always looking for the big reaction. I've been sort of staying in my lane, moving like the eyes in a painting. Feels like you follow me around, cast out like a great projection, like a haunting. It's the main thing, yeah. I don't believe in it now. I don't believe in it now. Don't believe in it now. I don't believe. No.
All right. Ducks Limited live here in the KEXP live room, and all of the songs that you just heard today from the new album Harm's Way. And once again, Ducks Limited, thank you so much for taking time in your busy schedule to stop by the KEXP studios.
Thanks so much for having us. It's awesome to be here.
Awesome. And Ducks Limited, you have achieved so many milestones in such a short period of time, from touring all over, including Portugal and Spain with your friends in Houseplants,
Yeah.
and also doing a tour with Archers of Loaf, and also playing a cool festival in the Netherlands, and now here you are in the KEXP studios. How are you feeling about all of this?
Great. I mean, yeah, it's crazy that they're letting us do this. So we're just trying to enjoy every minute of it, I think.
Yeah, you just keep getting away with it, and yeah.
I think that's the way we feel.
Yeah. It's amazing because I've been following this band from day one, and some bands, it just takes so much work to get to where you're going, and from an outside perspective, it seems like you just were well received right out of the gate. Do you feel that way, or did it feel like harder work to get to where you are now?
I don't know. I think it kind of falls in a couple directions. I mean, I feel like we've been really lucky to kind of get the reaction that we've gotten, and it's been really cool and obviously like super validating that people have been excited about it. But it's also like, I don't know, a lot of work goes into it. A lot of time spent on it. A lot of me and Evan in a basement. So it's like it's a little bit of both maybe.
Yeah. Well, speaking of you and Evan in a basement, actually, let's go all the way back to the beginnings of this. So Evan and Tom, you were running around in certain music circles in Toronto, and you knew of each other, but your first real conversation that you had together was your shared experiences applying for a Canadian residency. Do you remember this conversation, and how did that bring you closer together?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I feel like that's like one of the themes of this band is that we're always immigrating somewhere. But we've both been doing it for most of our adult lives in one way or another. But no, I think like when we had that conversation, I was a little bit further along in the process, and we were both kind of going through the same thing at the same time. But I mean, it's kind of I don't know. I feel like the way it is for a lot of folks in Toronto, like in this band, only one of us was born in Canada. So. Mm-hmm.
And you toured together in different bands as well, and then you realized that you two had a lot in common, and the seed was planted to start a band together. And wasn't one of your first shows together at a place that was called the Smiling Buddha? Do you remember this show?
Yeah. I'm trying to think back on that one. Was that Jerry Paper? With Jerry Paper, yeah. That was maybe the first one. That was a long time ago now.
Yeah, and that venue doesn't exist anymore?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, and also I mentioned that you both have some very similar tastes in music, and I know that you both in the past have voiced your love for certain Toronto bands like Quaker Parents, Cindy Lee, No Frills, Pax, and Motorists. Are there any other Toronto bands that you are fond of right now that we should be aware of?
Oh, let me think. I mean, I feel like, those you just listed a bunch of my favorites right there. Mm-hmm. The Motorist Boys especially, really love that band. Their new record is super, super good. I don't know, what do you got, Evan?
Good question. I don't know. I've been obsessively listening to that Cindy Lee record since it came out. It's so good. Who else? Toronto. Love Carl Dider.
Oh, yeah, Carl. Yeah.
Yeah, you introduced. I hadn't heard of Cindy Lee, and when I was doing some research, I thank you for introducing me to Cindy Lee. Pleasure. Yeah, super cool. And also, you've covered a lot of your favorite artists as well. Like, you've covered songs from The Feelies, The Cure, The Go-Betweens, The Jesus and Mary Chain. But, Evan, what is it going to take to convince Tom to do a Neil Young cover?
It's never going to happen. Maybe if we did something of Trans. I think that's the only way.
Why is this so difficult?
I don't know. I'm glad you're asking this question, Slowly planting the seed.
We've been talking about doing deep cut Dylan covers. That's like that could happen one day. More likely than Neil Young, probably.
Let's do Transformer Man. I'll convince you.
You can hold me to it if I say yes right now.
Well, maybe Bob Dylan covers will be sort of the gateway, maybe?
I think so, yeah.
Could be.
What can you tell us about the significance of Moreland Place?
Oh, where we shot the video for Hollowed Out.
Yeah, it's like maybe 20 minutes north of Toronto.
Oh,
what is
this
place?
It's such a fascinating location. Sorry, it took me a moment to grab hold of the name of it. But it's like this like weird kind of like English country manor in the middle of like kind of Ontarian farmland that was built by this like he's still around, this very, very charming eccentric dude. And it's like got these like beautiful like hedge maze gardens that he built, and all of these sculptures that he makes out of concrete and it's like in his spare time that are all kind of like classical looking. It's a remarkable sort of strange, like almost like a piece of outsider art as an estate. It's fascinating.
How did you find this place?
I think I'd heard the tales of it, and then during like kind of quarantine COVID times when you couldn't leave Ontario or couldn't leave like Canada at least, people were kind of like vacationing a lot within the province, and there's a bunch of beaches when you go out to like the west over there, and so I think me and my wife had been like going to this beach town, and we'd heard about it from somebody there, and then we went and checked it out, and we were like, wow, this place is so fascinating. We met the guy. He showed us some of his art books. It was very cool.
Yeah, sounds fascinating. Yeah. Also, a few years ago, you were in talks with Graham Downs of the Verlaines about doing some string arrangements, but it didn't quite come to fruition. I'm just curious if you still have that communication going, or if you've ever gotten to talk to him again.
We haven't talked to him in a little bit, but he was so nice. He's like one of my absolute heroes. Like the Verlaines are like one of, if not my favorite band. And yeah, it was kind of when we were first working on the first record. It was just sort of like, wouldn't it be fun to see if he'd be up for it? And he was like super receptive, super nice. He listened to the stuff, and I think ultimately he was just sort of like, this stuff is kind of like too busy for me to like put something in that I think would be like worth me doing,
right.
But like keep in touch. But we haven't had anything that's like felt right yet. But hopefully someday it'll happen. Because yeah, he's the coolest.
Yeah, well, you also have sort of a small list of people you would love to collaborate, like Graham Downs, but also you've mentioned you would love to collaborate with Robert Forster and Van Dyke Parks, the Courtneys. I feel like this is all possible.
I hope so.
I feel like you're like 1 degree away from the Courtneys.
I hope so. If you know them, put us.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that one of us has a friend of a friend that can make this happen.
Yeah. If you put in the call to Robert and Mr. Parks, that'd be very appreciated.
Yeah, no problem. Here, actually, let me text him right now. You have worked with the Beths.
Yes, we did. An awesome band who we like very, very much. Yeah, super happy that they were up for it. Sang on a bunch of songs on our first record.
Okay, and the new album Harm's Way. What led you to Chicago?
We were really just kind of thinking about places to record or people we'd want to record with. And sort of the more we were looking into stuff and thinking about it, we were realizing that like so much of the sort of indie rock, like guitar music that we like, at the moment is coming out of Chicago. And sort of the more we looked into it, the more we realized a lot of it was also being produced and engineered by this guy, Dave Vitrano. And so we kind of, looked into that. He was into the idea. And then it was sort of like, we just realized that we had a lot of friends that either like we already knew or people that we were kind of a degree of separation from, who we really liked and admired, and so going there was just an opportunity to work with a bunch of cool folks. It was a really good experience.
It was a good experience, and I love that city, and it's just a great place to record a record.
Yeah.
Tell me how excited you all were about backing vocal day in the studio.
I'm still excited about backing vocal day. That was so fun. We got a bunch of people. So like Dave has the studio kind of in like not quite, or I guess like the shallow south side of Chicago in this warehouse. We got all of our folks that we wanted to do backing vocals with. Our pal Rui just put out a record on Car Park. Julia from Rat Boys. Margaret from Moontype, got this whole crew together in the studio and just kind of like threw ideas back and forth. We had some stuff we demoed already, some stuff we just sort of had the thoughts of, and we just kind of like hung out and threw stuff down and ordered some really great pizza and like I don't know, it was a really like nice night of just kind of throwing ideas back and forth, and kind of one of the first times we've gotten to sort of like collaborate in a room with people on stuff because of the sort of like conditions of when we made our first record. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, it seems like everything that you do, it just takes you to the next level and the next level. So thank you once again for not only taking the time, but just continuing to make awesome music that everybody is enjoying. And the new album, Harm's Way, is just great. We've been loving it here. So
thanks so much.
Absolutely. And please come back.
Anytime.
Okay. Awesome. Well, once again, you've been listening to Ducks Limited right here live on KEXP.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.